My assault didn't have to happen, and the assault of all the women after me didn't have to happen.
Tonight, WSMV4 Investigates reveals more than 24 women reported sex crimes about the same man before he was ever arrested. And they want to know, why did it take so long?
Our chief investigative reporter, Jeremy Finley, is here with what he's uncovered. And Jeremy, this is a shockingly high number.
Well, it is, and all are reporting into this man, Tarek Minturi, the former massage therapist, serving prison time for sex crimes against women. We kept hearing from victims that they filed police reports for years, but he was never arrested, kept his massage license. It took us 8 months, but we not only tracked down all of the police reports, but also many of the women who say police failed them and the other victims.
Metro Nashville, Police Fire Medical. I was sexually assaulted by this guy.
He sexually assaulted them.
Seems like he's a very dangerous person.
Like, my girlfriend's very concerned for her safety.
The 911 calls were just a taste of how victims like this woman we're calling Jennifer would warn police about massage therapist Tarek Minturi.
He was placing his on my hands. I felt his tongue on my. He was sucking my toes.
Did you honestly think he would be arrested that day?
I thought he would.
What Jennifer didn't know is what WSMV4 Investigates has uncovered. That on the same day she filed the police report about Minturi, 2 other women did as well. And before that, 8 other women had already filed, including Kelly Cochran. Look at her report. Police believed there was enough information to make an arrest in 2018.
How many incidents do you have to have before somebody is arrested?
And women wouldn't just file reports. This woman was swabbed for DNA also in 2018.
They could take samples from my breasts or my feet, do something with the saliva.
Others gave their clothes.
I still don't know what happened to that evidence.
And Minturi kept committing crimes. Ultimately, it would take 25 women filing police reports over a 4-year period before he would be arrested by Metro Police on sex crimes.
My assault didn't have to happen, and the assault of all the women after me didn't have to happen.
Peter Massey, a former police officer and professor of crime scene technology, examined the investigation for WSMV4. When you review how this case was investigated, what's the word that comes to mind for you?
Lazy, dropped the ball, incompetent.
It's also how women began to feel about their communication with lead detective Kimberlyn Rothwell.
I tried emailing her, tried calling her, never got anything back.
I stopped hearing from the detectives.
Emails obtained by WSMV4 Investigates show the DA's office was frustrated too.
Metro Police, come to the door!
A month before Minturi was arrested, a prosecutor waiting on case files wrote that Rothwell is, quote, putting cases together with the same sense of urgency with which she conducted these investigations.
They were pissed. They were very upset, and rightfully so. They weren't doing their job.
Do you think that the ball was dropped by the police department?
I think it was a difficult ball to carry in general.
Inspector Rita Baker began supervising the sex crimes unit after the Minturi investigation. She had no idea how many women had filed reports before Minturi was arrested. 25 is a lot.
A lot, too many. Agree. I can't disagree with you on that.
25 women that endured this over and over and over again
Yes.
after women reported.
And that's 25 too many.
But I'm wondering if you think that simply it took too long.
I would say absolutely it took too long. There's no excuse. There's never an excuse. But there's reasons why it may have delayed.
Chief among those reasons, 2020, when Minturi escalated his crimes. It's also when Metro Police had to divert detectives.
Add the tornado, add COVID, and just difficult times in general, it was difficult. Now, is it okay to have excuses? Never.
Rothwell, police admit, had too many cases at the time and was put on the midnight shift, which hampered communication with victims. They also say they did present 12 cases to the DA's office in October 2020 for potential prosecution. The DA's office had no comment, but multiple sources within the DA's office say prosecutors never saw the details of those 12 specific cases, and police had already officially closed many of those cases, citing a lack of cooperation of victims. Both the DA's office and Metro Police say the end result is Menturi is now in prison and will be on the sex offender registry. But several of these women will never get justice because so much time passed from when they came forward, the statute of limitations ran out. Their cases were never even considered for prosecution.
The ramifications of how poorly it was handled are substantial.
What do you say to those women that would never get justice?
There's nothing you can say. You know, there's nothing you can say to make that better. We care deeply about our victims. We've made some changes in the division to make it better over the last year, but there's nothing you can go back and say to those women. That's not okay.
We should point out, according to the reports, 3 women did not want to prosecute, and others just wanted their cases documented. Police also say because in some cases it was Menturi's word against the women, that it would have been hard to prove in court. Marius.
Jeremy, I worry that women will see this and won't come forward if they've become victims.
Yeah, keep in mind, the totality of these women coming forward is the reason why Menturi is in jail. It's also important to point out the sex crimes unit in Metro has more than doubled since this happened. A lot more detectives, so hopefully this doesn't happen again. Marius.
Wow, so frustrating for these victims. Jeremy, great reporting.